Part two. All right. So I really want to have you guys undivided attention. Just play it. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Really want to be able to say this real quick. For those who out there who want to voice their thoughts and voice their opinion, I'm really going to try to have this show real quick for those who out there who's able to pick this up real quick. Call this number 682. 214-4087. That way we can get this thing back going. We had lost the feed earlier. I was trying to add all of this into one, and then all of a sudden, I guess I accidentally hit the end screen now type of deal. So we're live like 95. If you really want to voice your opinion, remember, those convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. I'm not out here to try to change your thoughts or try to change your mind. If you have a I guess premeditated thoughts of Dak Prescott, or you have your already notions of who he is and what he does out there on the field, and if you already elucidated long enough about this team, then it is what it is at this point. But the number is 682-214-4087. As time remains, I think I got about 15 minutes with you all. And this was what happened, Bobby. The old Murphy Law. Murphy Law got his part in this thing, too. You got to have Murphy Law into the building. That's just how it goes, you see. But there's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong questioning because we collectively as fans, we are not running out there. We are not the ones that's going to call up the plays. We are not drawing up the plays. We do know that in the last 10 years, it's just been the same situation. If we can go back and we can look at film and you can say to yourself, man, this team is exactly like it was even when you had Tony Romo, for crying out loud. So that's just the reality of it, So it's nothing changed. It's pretty much nothing new under the sun. It's still the Dallas Cowboys. But we have to figure out ways. I've been reading some people comment saying that Dak Prescott is only good if Ezekiel Elliott is good. And my understanding of football and knowledge of football is that Ezekiel Elliott was the 4th overall draft pick for the Dallas Cowboys. I would think and I would hope that is the scenario. In reality, if you look at the grand scheme of things, the Dallas Cowboys drafted Ezekiel Elliott to be that game changer, to be that playmaker. So, and at the same time, we have to look at it from the other angle, too, and say that, hell, Ezekiel Elliott is only good when the offensive line is good if you want to look at it objectively. You can't just look at one side of the coin. That's why I'm here. You see, I'm trying to bring home the reality of it, of the fact that if you're going to argue the fact to say that Ezekiel Elliott helps and benefit Dak Prescott, then you got to have that same strength and that same energy to say to yourself, Ezekiel Elliott is only good when Travis Frederick and Zach Martin and Tyron Smith are good, you see. So it's like a conundrum, basically. And it's a crazy equation as you look at it. What you do to the right, you got to do to the left, you see. So, and not just the reality of it. I do know that this one thing right here, Cowboy Nation, that the quarterback, heavy is the crown. When you start talking about the quarterback for the America's team, there's no other quarterback. You can look at any other team. There's no other quarterback that's going to be scrutinized, galvanized, and judged and rated like a Dallas Cowboys quarterback. Trust me, the expectation is always crazy. You got more people that watch the Dallas Cowboys than any other team. Shout out to you, Perez, talking about ocean water. Shout out to you, Tariq. Really appreciate you. Ventura, thank you for tuning in to the nation, as well as Antoine. Thank you for being part of the nation as well. Here's the thing. Like I said, the number is 682-214-4087. And I really appreciate you all that's here. Devon, really appreciate you too. Let's see what we have here. The Lions are not playing good. Yeah, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, I agree. The offensive side of the ball, they're going to have to step those lines up there. We're going to have to really figure out ways to improve on the offensive line as it relates to the Dallas Cowboys. Ivan said hit that like button. Yeah, man. Y'all can beat it down. Push that like button around. Am I more worried about the defensive line? Yeah. Yeah, we got to be worried about the defensive line. And this is the thing with the defensive line. This team went all off season trying to fill in that hole with the Kerry Hiders, with the Christian Covington. And I do know that it's only been 2 games, but one can argue before those 2 games, we saw like, hey, what is that? You know what I mean? But I would say this team is designed, if you look at the defensive side of the ball, it's designed to play with a lead on the defense. So if the defense, if it's a grimish type of, grittish type of game, and if the teams want to run against us, it's going to look hard for us, to win those particular games, because the pressure from the interior will not be there, regardless of how you look at it. Now, can we jump and shoot the gaps? Yes. This is a one-gap system. But we got these under tackles here. Hopefully, number 99 can change some of that. I think that number 99 is better against the run opposed to pass as it relates to Christian Covington. We got film and we can look at tape and see that. But this defense, I'm thinking the way that Robert Quinn and D-Law, even though he's having a down year, I think that this defense needs to play with a lead. And if we can get the lead and we can force teams to go back to pass happy versus a run happy, then we got that bag as it relates to defense, you see. Here we go. My guy, Antoine. Really appreciate you. Thank you for making this conversation right here. This team just has no excuses anymore. We can't blame coaches. And let me see. We can't blame coaches again this year. We can't blame the offensive line not having Tyron when we got 2 more Pro Bowlers. Man, the excuses are all over. Here's the thing. When we start talking about excuses. It's like a navel, everyone got one, right? Yeah, I was going to use another word, but everybody got a navel. That's human, right? When you start prefacing and you start utilizing excuses, this team, we have to start looking at the facts. We got to. Because when you start saying to yourself, well, if we can't play because of the left tackle is out, or if we can't play because the left guard is suspect, or we can't fly out to the ball and stop the run because the defensive tackle is not doing his job, then you got to start looking at the common denominator. You have to start looking at what is this team is doing to be prepared, you see. And of course, execution is one thing, but another would be this right here, Cowboy Nation. You have to properly plan. You have to properly evaluate. Just because I draw up a 3-point play for Shaquille O'Neal and I'm expecting him to hit that 3 every time, I'll be foolish as a coach to do that. I have to start utilizing the strengths, and I have to start planning for the rain that's to come. I can't walk outside looking and knowing that it's a 96% chance of raining and don't bring my umbrella and then get mad when it starts raining. You knew for sure that Tyron Smith had a broken down back. His back was all messed up. You have to plan for that if his back go out. Now, I do know that he had a high ankle sprain or whatever type of sprain that he had on his foot or leg or what have you. But now we got to look at it too. What are our plans for the future? You do know that you drafted Tony Pollard to help out Ezekiel Elliott, because naturally when you look at the overall plan ability of that, I say the path of the righteous man, you can calculate and say that this guy can't play at this level forever. So you got to start training somebody else from under him, right? Yeah, so you got to look at everything from A to Z. And if you're not sold on Dak Prescott, then I will be doing this. And teams did it before. You will start drafting a quarterback every offseason. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Really appreciate you, Calvin. Really do, man.
Various components working together in unison constitutes a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, it does. It does. Well-oiled machine. You got to work together. You got to look at everything from A to Z. You got to study your opposition. You got to study your opponent. You got to find out their weaknesses. And you got to say, okay, this is our strength. And then also, the thing about it is so crazy about life, right, is that even when you find out your team weaknesses or the opposition weaknesses, you got to understand their strengths. And then you got to figure out, how can I use their strength as their weakness? You got to look at everything, you see. My thing is, my guy, boxing, Muhammad Ali. the guy was one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. Anybody knows what the rope-a-dope means? When you get them on the rope or what have you, use that strategy. Understanding the opposition. Understanding that, hey, these ropes, they bouncy. I'm bigger than my opposition, but I know that this particular, or I'm faster than my opposition, but I know for sure that they slower. They got more power to their punch. But if I can make them weak, if I can use their strength as their weakness, boy, I can come out with a victory. It may be ugly, but hey, at least I come out with the W. And one can argue that this Muhammad Ali was never gashed, never scratched, because he studied his opposition, you see. In life, you got to study your opposition. And also, you got to understand your strength. And you got to understand your weakness. You got to know that like the back of your hand. So right now, for those who've been watching football, those who've been watching Voch Lombardi film breakdown, Okoye Media film breakdown, and also Brian Broaddus and all of those others that have been doing film breakdown, you should be more knowledgeable of the game. You should see the inductive part of the details of the quality of breakdown. You should be able to identify the team weaknesses at this point and the team strengths. And you should be able to see, okay, how can we shy away from these things right here as it relates to coaching and how we can benefit if we do it these ways. You should be able to have a collective thought on how this team should be playing. And this is not even at a multi-million-dollar level, because those that are getting paid, those coaches, look up their salary. Look up these players' salaries too. And the coaching salary. These players are getting paid and the coaches are getting paid multi-million dollars. That all they have to do, this is all they do is study and watch tape, supposedly. So at this point, like my guy Antoine Meyer said, there should be zero excuses. There should be zero. We're going to beat the Jets or Jason Garrett gets fired. This is Rodney Ellis. Jason Garrett is not going to get fired anytime soon, right? Cobbs can't catch. We need OBJ. Trade Cobbs for OBJ law. This is from Milky Film. No, man, no. You got to still pay his salary. So many things to go into that. And then on top of that, I think the days of having a diva receiver is over. Awuzie is playing DBs as soft as Cheetos Puff. And give me cash. Leave my boy Awuzie alone. He tried to play a little bit more physical in these last two games, right? and then on top of that, we just need people to tackle now, when they run the rock up the middle. Q Child, what's good with you, man? He said, facts. We're going to beat the Jets and the Eagles. Yeah, Dan Lunatic. This is the thing. As much as we talk hard on this team and harsh about this team, we are still 3-2. According to the division, we got 2 divisional wins. I do know that the NFL rankings and the NFL Pro poll or whatever you may want to say it, how the way the NFL.com ranks the teams. They got the Eagles ahead of the Dallas Cowboys because of common opponents. They beat Green Bay. We lost to Green Bay or what have you, however you want to look at it. So they got them above us. But the divisional games is what really matter, right? And right now we are 2-0 in the division. And I'm thinking that I'm going to put a big old, if we play solid and if we play to the level that we supposed to play and not play down to the level of the Jets, we should be at least 4-2, right? And then we will face the Eagles. It's a home game. It's not going to be cold, but we got to be weary. We got to be mindful of the Eagles' running attack. They can run the rock. Where been our issues been at? Against the run. So what we have to do, I'm not worried about the passing ability of the Eagles. I'm not worried about that. I think the Eagles threw 160 yards last game against the Jets, and then I think before that they passed another 150 yards against the Green Bay Packers. So we got to look at that too. They're not going to throw the ball. They're going back to 2017. I've been telling everybody, 2017 wasn't about fly, Eagles, fly. It was more so about run, Eagles, run. Okay? All right? So that's why we got to look at it. Pro Football Focus. Well, PFF, they got to do their thing, right? I wonder what kind of game plan Chris Richard would have for us if he were our head coach. I think it would be a whole different philosophy. And we have to be mindful that even though we love Chris Richard, there will still be some growing pains. Can anybody agree with me? There will be some growing pains, just like there's growing pains with Kellen Moore. There still will be growing pains, regardless of how you look at it. There was reports out there that the Saints, the New Orleans Saints, were sitting there saying that we looked at Boise State film and we picked up plays from Boise. And then Kellen Moore came out and said, hey, we don't even run those plays. I don't use those hand gestures. This is all clickbait. And we got to know that the NFL and ESPN is about clickbaiting and trying to get you to click on those articles and say that this is what the New Orleans Saints were saying. But there's still growing pains within the coaching staff as it relates to picking up a young phenom like Kellen Moore. Is he trash? No. I just think that he hit a bump in the road and he's going to learn from it. So if you look at it collectively, we've been doing these similar things. It's just that now, this is how I need to react when they punch me in the jaw. Oh, this is how I need to react when my quarterback is not being rolled out. My quarterback is not throwing screen passes. It's good to go for the chunks and chunks of yards. But if you look at the collective picture, I'm thinking that the Dallas Cowboys, even with Kellen Moore's new system, we're still top 5 in offense. This is what we wanted, right, Cowboy Nation? We wanted to be top in offense. This is what you get. Now, the consistency level, the turnovers and the ball bouncing off the hands of receivers, playing like a volleyball with the football, yeah, those are issues and problems that we will have to correct. And then on top of that, if you talk about Dak Prescott, we wanted a quarterback to throw more, and you're getting it, and now that's what you get. You get more turnovers and takeaways. That's just the reality of it. Good morning to you, Kelly. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. For those who want to call in, 682-214-4087. If you want to call in, let me know if you can get through, because sometimes this phone number, let me see, make sure. It's open. The phone lines are open. And the phone line is 24/7. If you don't want to call in, you can send me a text. Any time of the day, or leave a voicemail message. I got a lot of those. I really need to start playing them back on live on the nation. Shout out to you, Sheila. Now, I hope you got your coffee. Jerry Jones press conference is on right now. Yeah, shout out to Jerry Jones. Here we go. We got a caller. 956, talk to the nation.
Hey, Nation, thanks for taking my call. It's a lunatic here from 956, deep in Cowboys country. Listen, we just need to shore up the defense, stop those inside runs. It's simple football. Even Pee-wee, Pop Warner, they teach you. Hey, easiest way, run it up the middle. You don't stop that, you're in trouble. We just need to shore up that D-line. I mean, I like garbage cans full of dirt, space eaters. Marinelli don't like that scheme. He wants undersized, quick penetration. Well, guess what? Film study will give you some details, some stats like that. You said about the Saints, that's twice. Rams said they had some film study. They knew what was coming on our D. Saints do it. I don't expect more to say, oh, damn, they went that far back? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, of course he's going to say, no, I don't use those plays. I don't use those hand signals. But he's just got to adjust, just like anything. He's just got to adjust. And again, we're -4 in turnover differential. Mm-hmm. No good team is in a negative in turnover differential. You leave your D out there longer, they're going to get worn down. I don't care who you have. I don't care if you have the Bears defense from the mid-'80s. You're going to get worn down. We got to force turnovers, stop those inside runs, and let's score in the first half. Mm-hmm. Our offense has been coming out flat. Again, yes, we've been outscored 56-10 in the last 4 losses going back to last year. Our defense is playing behind. Our offense is playing behind.
Mm-hmm. Hey, let me ask you this quick question, though. When you start looking at this defense, we know that in the past, what we used to do is run the rock, time of possession, play control football with their offense. Now, we didn't make any overhaul changes on the defense, regardless of how you look at it. Don't you think that the nature of this defense, we have to still play that type of football in order for this defense to be the type of defense that Rob Marinelli wants?
Exactly. Goes back to time of possession. You go ahead and you keep the ball away from their offense. Your defense is fresh. They look faster. They look everything. These last 2 games looked like they were pressing. They didn't let the game flow to them. I hate that stupid saying because it's Patriots, right. But just do your job. Looked like the defense was just They're like, oh, we got to step up. Our offense ain't doing anything. We've got to do it on our back. And guess what? Gap control.
Yeah, gap
overplaying.
control.
Overplaying. All of a sudden, you're in a bad position. You're trying to do everybody else's job. Just trust each other. Trust each other. Do your job. Don't try to force it, because that's what it looked like. That's why everybody's saying, hey, LVE's missing all these tackles. He's thinking he's got to score, do a fumble, recover it, and run it in. He's not thinking I'm going to stop him.
Right.
Yeah, he's just trying to do too much on the defense.
Yes,
and
indeed.
like I said, I don't worry about Tank. Like I said, you get paid that amount, defenses pay attention, and they scheme for you. So that's fine. Hey, take two up. Somebody else on that defensive line, step up. Somebody beat your one-on-one, and now get to the quarterback. Pressure him that way. I don't care who you are. No quarterback loves pressure. You move him off the spot, you reset him, make him hold the ball for that extra second,
right,
or force him into a quick throw. Boom. We got a turnover.
Yes, indeed.
Just ain't seeing it right now. Just ain't seeing it right now.
Yes, indeed, man. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for the information for the nation.
Hey.
Really appreciate it, man.
Not a problem. Let's go ahead and beat those Jets, those damn Shades of Green. We're going to go 2-0 against the Shades of Green, the Jets, and then the damn Eagles. But first things first. First things first. Jets on Sunday. Let's get it back on track, and let's go Cowboys.
Yes, indeed, man. Excellent caller, man. Really appreciate you. Thank you for joining in to the nation. Salute. Hey, man, that was some good stuff, man. Like soup to the soul, man. I'm telling you. All right, so with that being said, Cowboy Nation, hey, the guy had too many valid points, man. It was hey, he need to have his YouTube page up here, man. Yes, indeed, man. Let me see if I can answer this one more call and we get on out of here. 203, talk to the nation. You're live like 95.
Hey, Law, how you doing, boss?
Man, it's your world. I'm just trying to pay rent.
I hear that, man.
Uh-huh.
Hey, so this is what I got, man. If you take a look at last year's losses,
right.
The defense couldn't really get to like a mobile QB. 4 out of our 6 losses last year were by mobile QBs: Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, Mariota, and Wilson in the at least regular season.
Right.
With what like Aaron Rodgers did to us, Bridgewater a little bit. I don't really consider him a mobile QB personally.
Right.
But I don't know. Like with what the Jets are doing, he's a standstill guy. At least Sam Darnold is. I don't think he's like a mobile QB. I think we're going to win either way. But I just want your thoughts on mobile QBs and the defense.
You gotta be mindful of this. I've seen Jared Goff get off to the edge, so I think Sam Darnold and Jared Goff got the same ability to run type of factor. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, man, I'm going to the Jets game, but we'll see what happens, and let's go Cowboys, man. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate you for calling that. Great point. Great observation. We do have problems with the mobile quarterback. I will say that, but to be objectively speaking, you had to worry about Jared Goff getting out to the edge and running, I think, 18 yards or something like that. But here's the thing. Here's why we struggle against the mobile quarterback. We pursuit, we fly, we chase like no other. And once the quarterback begins to roll out, I think that our linebackers are so super active that they fail to do their responsibilities. And it goes back to our running philosophy too. And then on top of that, the less complexity or the less strenuous situation as it relates to this particular defense, we don't put out there hard defenses, meaning that a cover 2. A lot of people that's in middle school, if you play football in middle school, if you play football in high school, and if you play some variations of football in college on a lower level, you will see that they will play that soft shell cover 2 defense, meaning that a quarterback is very comfortable on playing against the cover 2. Of course, Dallas Cowboys, we do an excellent job against the deep ball, but we're troubling. Our struggles issues are when we play off on the cover 2, those flats, and also the middle of the field, meaning that when the quarterback sees that cover 2 defense, he can either audible into a run, and he knows for sure that he can at least get 4 to 5 yards. And then when they start dictating the defense and everybody starts stepping up a little bit, that's when he attack the edges, or that's when he do the deep post. That's been going on for the last 4 or 5 years or more with the Dallas Cowboys as it relates to the cover 2 defense. I got to rock and roll up out of here, Cowboy Nation. I really appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in to the nation. I actually got to bounce, but here's my thing. Let's continue to stay positive about this team. Let's continue to find ways to win these games. And on top of that, one day at a time, one movement at a time, brick by brick. I will be doing a marathon show tonight, meaning that I will be live until I fall asleep. And you guys know that the nation rarely falls asleep. I will be taking phone calls. This will be really pretty much probably after my guy Mark Holmes goes live. I don't want to jump on at the same time that when he's on live, so I might jump on his show to do a little talking Cowboys, and then after that we would do a live show all the way into the Saturday. You see, we just gotta do it. We just gotta do it. Crazy. So grab your coffee, get all your questionings together, get all of your concerns, put all of the things that you want to put in my mind, and so I can echo that out to the Cowboy Nation, and we'll be live, and we'll put it out there to Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, Twitch, as well as the Instagram. How about that for the nation? Let's go. Let's continue to grind, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let me find my outro music. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. Prize fighter, continue to fight even when he's down. And I respect everybody's opinions. I respect everybody's views. Just because we don't think the same, just because we don't look the same, and just because you think Auntie Shirley makes the best spaghetti, which she don't, Auntie Pam does it, you say, doesn't mean that we have to fight each other. Doesn't mean that you're right and I'm wrong and you're right. Look, everybody got a right to an opinion, a title, view of thoughts. Let's continue to grind, Cowboy Nation. We bigger and we better than that. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Come on. Let's go. Cowboys. Go, Cowboy Nation. One day at a time, one movement at a time. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Cowboys.